Good afternoon. How are you? It's late afternoon, and it's, I don't know what the temperature is because it doesn't feel like 80-something, which is what they said. And you can see the hills are aflame with clouds, and there's a pleasant breeze, and I just felt drops of water, which I've been feeling as I go along here. I thought it was really sweet to have President Obama and the First Lady back to the White House to reveal their paintings. And the paintings were fine. I frankly prefer the ones at the Portrait Gallery, which I don't know if you've seen the ones of the First Lady, but they're amazing. And but there it is. I think they should have put those in the White House, unless there was some reason they couldn't do it. But that aside, I thought it was really cute to see the couple doting on each other, having fun with each other. And it's nice to have kind of drawn the loop together, to have Obama and Biden together. And there are newspaper stories about, there's differences between them. I don't think so. I mean, if there was, would Biden have brought him to the White House? Would Biden campaign with him through the rest of the electoral season, as I expect will happen? I think that they became very close. And if you saw the Medal of Honor ceremony when Obama surprised Biden and put it on him, Biden, a weepy Irishman that he is, and I say this proudly, he was really touched by the event. People who dislike each other don't have that effect on each other. They may argue, and they had their differences, of course. They're both strong men in their own way. So there's that. That's very pleasant. That was a nice public event. We don't have enough of those. Then what about down south? Is everything rotten in Georgia and Florida these days? We have overnight, it was 10 o'clock last night, I saw the story, and the Post issued it, and what it said basically was that there were documents that described the nuclear capabilities of a nation state undisclosed that was in the possession of Trump. Now, you may remember he made some remark about, oh yeah, where's the nuclear stuff? And it's there now, and now, of course, he's poo-pooing that. But the serious side of this is, if you are the nation state that is discussed, you want to know about that, and you want to know who had got their hands on it. And you wonder if it's something like Korea getting information about others, or China, or Russia. And this is significant material, and some people are rightly concerned, I'm sure, and we don't know what informants are involved. And this is an even more narrow area of security concern than the others. So we have national security at risk because of this Dumbo in his golden palace, Mar-a-Lago, playing games with the safety and security of America, because the man has no allegiance to any value or to anybody else but himself, and the definition of who he is what power can I have, what celebrity can I have, what women can I have. The only thing that's struck out of his list of obscene appetites is sex. Is not sex, it's apparently I don't know what, music, drugs. He's not interested in drugs, except maybe Adderall, I don't know. And he could take a course in appreciating the finer things in life, but that's not who he is. So, in a way, this reveals how wrong that judge is and how little she knows or has considered about the question of staying two things. One, looking at these documents and finding out what the implications are of them, both criminally and in terms of national security. And the other thing is, how do you appoint anyone to look at documents top secret that only certain people are permitted to look at such documents? She sure doesn't understand that. She has no experience with that. So as I've said before, her role is to satisfy the need Trump has, the law notwithstanding, so that he can delay in my opinion, the day of reckoning, which is coming. If the people in a position to make a difference show the courage to act. Now, the other thing that I think is interesting is, of course, what's happening in New York with Steve Bannon. And I may talk about that on Newsy tomorrow. I don't know if you've seen the network, but from time to time I appear on there. And they're very good reporters. At least that's been my experience. And they're well regarded in a variety of markets, and they're strictly digital streaming, if I understand their technology. Anyhow, the thing I'm going to talk about is the Bannon surrender tomorrow. Surrendering, and the indictment is sealed, so I haven't seen it. And I assume it will be unsealed tomorrow when he's in court. And the question is, what's it all about? And I think the answer is, it's the fraud he ran on people who contributed to a fund to build the wall in case the money wasn't elsewhere. And of course, Steve Bannon, for all of his supposed wealth, pocketed $1 million. And this fraud was the subject of a prosecution in the Southern District of New York. And before it went to trial, Steve Bannon managed to get a pardon. So he hasn't been tried, and he hasn't been prosecuted past that point. But the local DA who replaced Vance, and in my opinion did a horrible job with Vance's recommendation to prosecute Trump, he's unsealing an indictment tomorrow charging our boy Bannon, hey Stevie, with the same crime or similar one. Now, there's a rule of law that you can't prosecute a person twice for the same crime. Now, it's a little more complicated than that. But that rule does not apply if you have a separate sovereign. That is to say, a federal crime does not bar a state crime from being prosecuted. And in New York, if I have it right, they passed a statute some time ago that said, we don't like anybody prosecuting the same offense twice, but if it involves a pardon, and the pardon was granted by the president, and it was to a person who'd been on staff or involved with the electoral campaign for president, then in that case, a separate prosecution is permissible. And I think the argument there is it's less reliable, trustworthy, that the pardon was genuine and not as a basis of familiarity and perhaps even to protect the president, in this case Trump, granting the pardon. So tomorrow he'll appear. They'll set bail. They'll set conditions. I don't know what he'll be asked. If he were denied bail, he'd go to Rikers Island, which is a very unpleasant place. Suicides happen there, you may have heard. And the calendar will be set. I expect the first step in the case will be for the defense to move to attack. This is a prosecution that's barred by the earlier federal prosecution. Now, there has been litigation on this before, but the case was different and there were different circumstances. So, but I suspect it will be one of the issues first up. And then after that, we roll along, and what a shame it will be if Mr. Bannon is in jail on his contempt case out of D.C. He's supposed to be sentenced in October, and still has this pending. He couldn't happen to a nicer guy. A greater enemy of our nation cannot be found, except for his boss, the man he advised, this mastermind of devilish corruption, seeking to compromise and destroy our democracy. So, that's what I'm thinking today in my wonderland of trees and my cathedral, and I hope that you're having a good day yourself. Bye-bye.